Hello children, your favorite YouTube channel Science Guru Sir Alok is back to you, and today I am here with the second chapter of class 9 biology, that is tissue. And in this chapter we will discuss about the different types of tissue, their structures and their functions. Mainly in this chapter we will get the plant tissues and the animal tissues. So for your better understanding, I have divided this chapter into two parts. In the first part, that is today, I will discuss only about the plant tissues. So here I will start. First of all, we have to understand about the tissues. What is tissue? Dear students, when a group of cells, they join together to perform a specific functions, they are commonly known as tissue. So what is tissue? When a group of cells join together to perform a specific function, they are known as tissue. Now, let us compare the difference between the plant tissue and the animal tissue. So, for understanding the difference between the plant tissue and animal tissue, we have to understand first the difference between the plant cell and the animal cell. There are noticeable differences between the plant cell and the animal cells. As for example, plants are stationary or they are fixed in one place. They do not need to move from one place to other place. So that is why they need large amount of supportive tissue. And these supportive tissues are made up of dead cells only. Now, another type, on the other hand, the animals, they need to move from one place to another place in search of the food, mate and shelter. So more amount of energy is consumed by the animals. Therefore, most of all the tissues, all the cells present in the animals are living cells. Another difference between the animals and the plants is in the growth pattern. The growth in plants is limited in certain regions, whereas it is not same in case of animals. So therefore, on the growth pattern, on the basis of there are some tissues in the plants, they can grow and divide for the lifetime. So on the basis of this dividing capacity in the plant tissues, we can classify the plant tissues mainly into two types. We can classify the plant tissues mainly into two types. One is the meristematic tissue or the growing tissue, and another one is the permanent tissue. So now we will discuss about the meristematic tissue. What is meristematic tissue? The growth of plants occurs only in some specific regions because the meristematic tissues are present only that specific regions. So on the basis of the region, depending on the region where the meristematic tissues are present, we can classify the meristematic tissue again into three different parts. As for example, the apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Now, one important thing we have to remember that generally all the newborn cells in the plant body are a type of meristematic tissue. And slowly when they grow and lose the capability of division, slowly they convert into the permanent tissue. So now we will discuss about the different types of meristematic tissue. That is, first one is the apical meristem or apical meristematic tissue. They are present at the growing tips of roots and stems, and they help to increase the length of the roots and stems. These types of tissues are known as apical meristematic tissue. Next, second one is the lateral meristematic tissue. The width of the stem and the root increases in size due to the function of this lateral meristematic tissue. And the third one is the intercalary meristematic tissue. Generally, intercalary meristematic tissue can be seen near the nodes of the plant. So this is all about the meristematic tissue, that is the apical meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue and intercalary meristematic tissue. Now, structure of the meristematic tissue, if we found under the electron microscope, we can find that cells of meristematic tissues are very active with thin cellulose walls and dense cytoplasm and with a prominent nuclei. So this is all about the meristematic tissue. Now we will discuss about the permanent tissue. When the meristematic tissue take up a specific shape and size, and lose the capability of division. They cannot divide more, they cannot produce new cells. They are known as the permanent tissue. Why? Because they take permanent shape and size. That is why they are known as permanent tissue. And this process of taking this permanent shape and size and losing the capability of division, this process is known as differentiation. Mainly, we can find two different types of permanent tissues are there in the plant's body. These two types are simple permanent tissue and another one is the complex permanent tissue. Now we will discuss about the simple permanent tissue. The simple permanent tissue, they consist of relatively all the similar cells. All the cells present in this type of tissues are similar in structure, similar in size, similar in shape. That is why they are known as simple permanent tissue. Now, in some situation, this simple permanent tissue, generally here one important thing we have to remember that parenchyma is the commonly known as simple permanent tissue. And in plants, in some situations, these parenchyma, they contain chlorophyll and able to perform the process of photosynthesis, which are necessary for the green plants. So this type of parenchyma are known as chlorenchyma. In aquatic plants, large air cavities are present in the parenchyma, and this type of tissues are known as aerenchyma. And the flexibility of plants is due to the another parenchymatous tissue, which is known as collenchyma. So this is all about the permanent tissue. Now one more thing, that another type of permanent tissue we can find in the plant body, and which is known as sclerenchyma. It makes the plant part hard and stiff. As for example, we can find it in the husk of the coconut. Now we will discuss about the complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissues are made up of more than one type of cells. That means all the cells are not same, not similar in case of complex permanent tissue. Whereas one important difference you can remember from here, in simple permanent tissue, all the cells are of similar in shape, similar in size, similar in structure. Whereas in case of complex permanent tissue, all the cells are of not similar in shape, size and structure. They are not same. All these cells, all these different types of cells, they coordinate to perform one function. This is known as complex permanent tissue. Xylem and phloem are the examples of such complex permanent tissue. And both of these are conducting tissues in the plants, and they are commonly known as vascular bundles. Now the structure of xylem. Xylem consists of tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and fibers. And on the other way, the phloem, it is made up of 5 types of cells. And these 5 types of cells are seed cells, seed tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So this is all about the different types of plant tissues we can find in the plant body. So here the important things, the key points we have to remember about the different types of plant tissue, that is the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue, then different types of meristematic tissue. Now when we discuss about the permanent tissue, there are also different types of permanent tissue, simple permanent tissue and the complex permanent tissue and their functions. And in my next video, I will discuss about the animal tissue. So this is all about today. Thank you for watching this video.